welcome. As you saw in the letter, this is a lifelong endeavor. You've heard that since pledgeship. You know, you're Sigma Chi for life. I am a Sigma Chi. And we want to make sure that you know that there are opportunities out there for you to continue this journey. And we want to make sure that you have the opportunity to not only back to your chapters, but to your community, to the general fraternity, to your pledge brothers, and continue those thoughts and those values that make you who you are, that make you Sigma Chi, that make us Sigma Chi. So we're pretty pleased that you would take that time to come in here. I would say we have a distinguished and esteemed panel assembled, but as you can tell visually, I'd be lying to you. So I'm trying to make sure that you guys know and appreciate these members, these brothers and team members of our membership engagement committee, including your undergraduate rep and newly graduated class of 2020, Tristan Koch from Hillsdale. We've got a former IBA winner, Jeremy Fernandez. I think it was Cincinnati, and if I throw a year out there, he'll groan. And then we've Don Copeland, who is our outstanding president or past president of the San Francisco Alumni Association chapter out there, and serves on our committee, has done yeoman's work on what we're going to present to you today, along the format of, you know, what can you expect as a young alumnus? And secondly, we're going to also spin out for you a virtual ritual. Some of you may have seen this already on some of the Sigma Chi alumni meetings, although it's been out on a very limited form. We've decided to make our presentation today along those lines, so you will experience what we are putting together as a virtual ritual. Great applause to brothers Eric Hansen, Don Copeland, Bobby Juckham, Garoth, people that have put their time and effort into this. Our belief is that, you know, our founders were associated together for different purposes, and yet our purposes are the same, and those are for the finer points of the mind and the finer feelings of the heart, and to not only support one another and to support our brothers, but to support the change and respect the understanding and the thoughts and the beliefs of those brothers as they march through not only their collegiate careers, but on into their careers and into their life and into their futures as fathers and husbands and always as Sigma Chi brothers. So we're proud to bring forward this virtual ritual for you. A couple of notes. If you've got a question, please type that in to the chat. We've got our great support staff between Gary Rawlings and Dakota Neff watching those, and we will get to those questions. Secondly, I do need to let you know this is being recorded. We want to share this with some of our other brothers, and particularly the fine example we believe this will make of our virtual ritual. So we want to let you know those things as well. Again, thanks for coming. We've asked Jeremy to be our leader in our virtual ritual, and we will begin with that process. Brother Jeremy.
Well, Bob, let me interrupt you for just a second. Off screen, you can't quite see him, but we also have with us tonight Terso Pena. Some of y'all might be able to see him off to the side. And if you would, thank you for advancing to the next slide there, Dakota. That's kind of a summary of what we're going to be covering this evening. So now it's all yours, Jeremy.
Cool, thanks, Gary. Cool, we'll move forward. Just a quick kind of reminder to the group. This is a virtual ceremony, and it's not something that replaces the ritual, obviously, but is one that will hopefully remind us of what we see in the ritual on a regular basis. So that's just a kind of disclosure up front.
Dance,
and I'll jump in. Yep. Cool. All right. So my brothers, prior to discussing today's business, it is our obligation to reflect on the reasons why we associate as Sigma Chi's. I now call upon Brother Terso to illuminate the objects of our fraternity as stated from our order's inception.
Thank you, Brother Jeremy. Believing that many advantages are to be derived from a secret fraternity organization, appreciating that closer communion of kindred hearts, which adds so many incentives to virtuous exertion, and feeling that in union there is strength, we do hereby form ourselves into an association for the development of the nobler powers of the mind, finer feelings of the heart, and for the promotion of friendship and the congeniality of feeling.
My brothers, what do we develop?
Nobler powers of the mind,
and the finer feelings of the heart.
My brothers, what do we promote?
Friendship,
congeniality of
geniality of feeling.
2 verbs, 4 actions, and 1 paragraph identify the why of our existence and define the objects of our fraternity. Therefore, let us now dedicate ourselves to truly recognizing our lifelong obligations and conduct ourselves throughout this meeting with all intentions to make ourselves and our order stronger. Let this meeting be transformational for each of us. Thank you, brothers. I now call upon the virtual meeting to order.
Thanks, Jeremy. Well done. And Terzo, appreciate you, brothers, and all you've done through the year on the committee. This is kind of the format for our business meeting for today. As Jeremy indicated, our virtual ritual is not to replace the ritual that we already dearly love and practice every week. It is a step forward into this century, I guess you could say, and to know that the ritual is based on the 1856 Constitution, which is an open document. So this is not, when we meet and gather and share our thoughts and then do our business, but we do so on a public platform, it's necessary to maybe cut back a little bit on our secret sessions of ritual, but know that those same intents, those same feelings, and that same business model is what has been developed for us to profess and to move forward professionally on maybe a more public platform. As far as an agenda for today, unique situation in 2020. How many times have we all heard that? So we won't belabor that, but certainly I want to let our panelists contribute to these points. I want to let you know there are some international fraternal efforts that are going on. We'd like to hit the point of what you can do as a 2020 grad, where there are opportunities, what we can help you with and what you can help us with. Point out what local alumni groups can do and can help you with, where you have an opportunity and where they have an opportunity to help you. And something that the EC has adopted in the last couple of years, virtual alumni groups. We have social media groups already up and running with huge success, much to the kudos and the appreciation of Brother Copeland there. And know that EC is working on developing programs so that your individual chapters can likewise set up and be recognized as virtual alumni groups. So that's kind of our agenda for today. And with that, we'll get it over to our newest graduate, 2020, from Hillsdale. Tristan, if you'd like to go, please.
Yep, thanks, Bob. So obviously, this is an unprecedented time, and I'm in the same boat as you guys. My senior year was cut short. All the things that I was looking forward to do in the last semester, last derby days, last formal, senior send-off, all that good stuff. And we understand that on the membership engagement committee over here. We understand that it's a difficult time, and we're doing the best we can. And I know all of your local alumni are also working to support you in that as well. So know that we're with you. We're all going through it together in our own way. And we're gonna work on finding some alternatives to these events, making sure that you guys are sent off in the right way. Dakota, if you can go to the next one here. Okay, so one of the first things that we're doing, I'm not sure if you guys got the email yet or not, but Sigma Chi complimentary graduation tassel to all 2020 seniors. So that will contain our blue and gold thread as well as Sigma Chi branding, free to you guys. And like I said, they're available to all 2020 grads. But you do need to request them by June 1st. So right there, there's the email. Apply to email or visit members.sigmachi.org. And also be sure to update your address. This is not only for the graduation tassel, but we know a lot of people, will use their college addresses on the Sigma Chi website. We want to make sure we're having updated addresses for you guys, and they're going to ship late summer. So obviously, like it says on the top, because leaving campus was abrupt, it'll take more effort to stay connected. There's a lot of this that rests, on the undergraduate chapters, helping with the send-off, trying to create some events that, gives the seniors that last little hurrah. So we're asking them to focus on fall homecoming to see if they can, help make it a good experience, do sort of a pseudo send-off around homecoming time. And one great way to continue to keep seniors involved in the undergraduate chapter is to schedule those events around, delayed graduation, or if you guys are having any sort of, any meetings, any get-togethers later in the summer before school starts. I know Hillsdale is doing a graduation later on in July. So that's going to be our time to all get together and have a final send-off. But we would encourage all of you to try to do that in whatever way you can, even if it is virtual. All right, there we go. Yep. So we're finally encouraging all chapters to perform the senior ceremony. It's a senior send-off. It's a really beautiful ritual, and it's in the ritual book. We can get instructions to you guys if you'd like to do that. Can be done in person, like we said. Usually, it's best if you schedule it around those events that people are already going to be coming to, like homecoming or extended graduation. But can be done virtually using the non-secret ritual that we just went over.
Thanks, Tristan.
All righty. So we're encouraging you guys to stay connected with each other and with Sigma Chi. And so a lot of our shared vision is that we don't really want to try and solve the issue of how do we activate alumni. We want to see our members just continue to stay active from undergraduate through alumni. So we're calling on you guys to stay involved. And there's a lot of ways you can do that. You can join a local alumni chapter, and there's plenty to get involved there. Right now, most of us are meeting virtually, and brothers need that. So a lot of our chapters are doing that. You can create your own events with brothers in your neighborhoods and your towns, but we encourage you to stick with your local guidelines on the COVID stuff, and leverage some technology. Social media engagement, video conferencing, whether they're happy hours or programming such as career development. I know one of our provinces is, so keep an eye out for that on the international page and such. Next slide, please, Dakota. So we've got over 125 recognized alumni chapters, associations, and clubs, and countless other groups. So if you can't find an alumni chapter in your area, consider starting one. And you can start with an association or club. And that's what Gary Rawlings is on the call here to help you get started, but also lean on your other alumni chapter presidents, such as myself. I'm happy to mentor and help any alumni chapter help get off the ground. You can do both professional networking and social activities in these alumni chapters. And when you know where you're going to go ahead and start to make the reach out before you get there. Once you're there, go ahead and update your information in the online directory, so that when brothers are looking for you, they know where to find you. And reach out to the alumni chapter president. Go to the meetings. They love having new graduates out there. So next slide, please, Dakota. Example from last week. Headquarters frequently gets requests for where are the alumni chapters. I field a lot of those a year and reach out to those. So there's a lot of ways to get involved. But down here at the bottom, just write that down real quick. It's about 2,000 characters of URL of where to find. But I'm just joking. But
no, all joking aside, Don, this is an example last week of a young man who appears. I whited out his name because I didn't have a chance to give permission to use his name. But this is a young man who's graduating from Ripon College, and he wants to move, or is planning on moving out to Colorado Springs in the next few months. So this man took the initiative and reached out to our Colorado Springs Alumni Chapter president, and now he's tied into and associated with Colorado Springs. So hopefully through the Alumni Chapter, he might be able to make some connections, for a job, make a connection for some housing. So just to reiterate on what Don said, if you know where you might want to be, reach out to that Alumni Chapter and tell them, hey, I've always wanted to work in XYZ city. Talk to that Alumni Chapter president, share with him, your background and your wishes, and our alumni want to help. Sorry for interrupting, Don.
It's all good. Next slide, Dakota. So whether you're starting to look for a job or you're looking for your next job, reach out to your local alumni chapters. Introduce yourself. Ask to be introduced to others in your professional field. I'm going to repeat that, ask. So as alumni, the volunteers love helping other brothers, especially the young brothers that are trying to get a start. Please don't hesitate or be shy to ask. You'll find it here. I'm telling you, you really do. Have your elevator pitch ready. In other words, just a 30-second, like, this is who I am. This is what's important to me. This is where I can pitch in, and this is where I need help. Attend some meetings, whether in person or virtual. Introduce yourself. And I'll tell you a quick story of one of our alumni chapter meetings. A recent graduate came into alumni chapter meeting with his father, and he walked straight up to me. He goes, "Who are the hiring managers of the big companies like LinkedIn and Facebook and Google?" I said, "That guy and that guy." And he went straight there. Within a week, he had an internship, and within a month, he had a job. And these instances are not uncommon. They happen all the time. So SIGs love helping SIGs, but please don't be shy to ask. Participate in their social activities and in their philanthropy. So sometimes we'll pick up litter on the beach. Sometimes we'll work with a alumni sorority at a food bank or something like that. Great way to meet people. But yeah, leverage the alumni group for both professional and social. But in a professional network, you want to give more to your network than you expect or want to ask for. And when you do that, you'll find more than you'll ever need. So if you're putting into your network, when you need it, it's there for you. Networking is not just going out and asking. It's also contributing and making introductions yourselves. Bring other brothers of your own generation. In fact, I always ask brothers to bring another brother to an event. That's how we grow. And our past Grand Consul, Tommy Gettings, encouraged us to duplicate ourselves. So if you're one volunteer, bring two more in. And I like that. And I think we should stick with it. Encourage your other brothers to contact the alumni groups near them. So you'll have fun at yours. And a lot of guys just can't imagine. That's why we don't have a lot of alumni engagement at alumni chapters, but the guys that go absolutely love it. So don't turn down that chance. And if you don't love it the first time, go a few more times. You might find something you do love it. And then continue to start events or activities of interest to you. So if you've got an idea of an event you want to do, talk to the alumni chapter president. They'll probably let you do it. In fact, they'll probably assign you to do it. Like, hey, we should go to the range. Well, now you're the new range master. Or we should go on a sailing trip. You're our captain. So, those things are fun, and guys will come. They will find it there. So next slide, please, Dakota. All right, this one is for Terso.
Great, thank you, Don. So someone, why not you, needs to lead your graduating brothers in staying connected. I remember back in 2018, when my class was graduating, we had one brother going to graduate school in Hawaii. There's no undergraduate chapter there, and he was wondering how he could still stay connected with the fraternity. And so I said, hey, how about you just post a Facebook group? Because, I mean, there's countless Sigma Chi Facebook groups, but the general Sigma Chi network. And, within an hour, he had 3 or 4 brothers in Hawaii commenting, hey, reach out to me. I'll pick you up from the airport. And I recalled him telling me later that day that one brother invited him to come golfing the day after he landed so you can get settled and meet some guys. And now he's a very active member of the alumni chapter out there. I know NYC, they have countless Sigma Chi's in the city, and not all of them are engaged with our local chapters there, Columbia, but they have meetings and events where brothers socialize with other sorority alumni chapters. There's professional network events now, all being done online, but there's countless ways that you can just say, hey, brother, one of your pledge brothers, how about you just come with me to this event tonight? It's going to be on Zoom, 7 o'clock. Let's see how it is. First half hour. If you don't like it, Irish goodbye. And it's as simple as that. And nobody's going to listen to you more than your pledge brother when it comes to your Sigma Chi activities, because they've been with you since day one. Now, plenty of alumni chapters and alumni groups do big events, whether it's for philanthropy or like golf tournaments. And I highly recommend you take advantage of these events, because you might meet somebody that's in your field, someone that shares a lot of interests with you outside of Sigma Chi, and it could be a future close friend or a brother that you start to get into a lot of Sigma Chi activities with. Next slide, please, Dakota. Now, there's a document on the Sigma Chi website, 88 ways to be involved. Very easy to read document, about 3 pages of content. Everything from assisting to recruiting, helping out a ritual. It's as simple as just join an alumni chapter and help out with, maybe the newsletter or getting the word out for events, to, communicating with the general fraternity on what your local chapters are doing, what your home chapter is doing, what alumni are doing, or some of, brothers from your chapter that you are familiar with and you want to get the word out. Hey, this brother just published a book. Check it out. There's many ways to be involved, and I highly recommend you check out this document so you can get some ideas, see if they pertain to anything that you have under your belt. Thank you.
So there's a lot of there's a lot of volunteer opportunities, both internationally and at local chapters. And I want to take a break here before we dive into it. But look at the screen of the presenters. So there's 6 of us up here. 3 of us are old farts, well over 50, and 3 are just recent graduates. And so no matter your age, your voice matters, your contributions matters, and they're equal. There's none of this like, I'm an older guy, I know better than you, son. There's none of that. The young guys have just as much voice and just as much stroke. So don't be shy to get engaged. And speaking about the old guys, that is so small, I can hardly read it.
Don?
Yeah.
If you don't mind, as we jump in here, a lot of these ways, guys, are listed in our 88 ways, about joining an advisory board, about joining a house corps, about becoming a chapter advisor, moving on the education side, using a Mission 365 facilitator, a Croc Shop, Croc TLW facilitator, Horizons facilitator. And, maybe that's a deep end of the pool. Maybe that's more than where you want to just start with as you continue through this Sigma Chi experience of yours. But don't be afraid just to stay involved with the local undergraduate chapter in some manner. And the best contact to know how to do that is, guess who? That guy that you all looked up to when you were an undergraduate, your praetor. Your praetor can make that connection. The praetor, if you've moved out of your old province, he can make connections with a praetor that can get you involved, whether it's just as an advisory board member, maybe it's just in a mentoring role, maybe it's as a ritual peer. It's just about making that network and making those connections. And there are local chapters, as you are well aware, it's the class of 2020, can always use that added voice and that added back and that added support measure and that added, hey, I've just been through this, I'll be glad to help you out. So don't be afraid to say, oh, but doggone it, I'm a Zeta Tau, and those guys over at Zeta Phi, they don't know me, and I'll just be busting in on their chops. No, brothers, we are Sigma Chi brothers, and we'll be glad to take not only that help and that time that you're willing to give, but you'll be surprised at how much you're going to get back from them, especially if you're in a different situation geographically or culturally, or somewhere out of your comfort zone. Good old good old Turso up there when he goes to Boston and UMass and New York City, pretty much at home. I'm going to drag him down to New Mexico, to Taos, and we'll see how well he does. You know, vice versa. He's threatened to throw me in the deep end of Fenway Park, and I'm pretty sure a Yankee fan like myself is not going to be very comfortable there. Granted, once we shake hands and be where we want to be. So brothers, take advantage of those opportunities. There's a point there on the education side, and I'm going to go a little bit off script, brothers. We just found out on Monday. It happened. Remember all those promises from our group at SCLI and our team on the Sigma Chi leadership? We have been accredited. We have received state accreditation. It has happened. It is a monumental step for this fraternity and what it means to be a Greek man. You can now receive educational credit by belonging to Sigma Chi, going through Sigma Chi programs. And I know you guys are going, great, I just missed it. I'm graduating. What good is that going to do me? The P4B program and the Horizons program are two programs that are going to be grandfathered in for these certificates and these transferable credits. So if you've been through those, and right now we're working on it for the last 5 years, if you've been through those in any of that time, you will receive credit. And I believe that's going to include a lot of you guys that are on this call. They've still got to work through all those issues and all the paperwork, all the stuff that goes with higher ed. But that is the goal. That is the plan. The big point is, yoo-hoo, we finally we got that accreditation. And there's also going to be 2 new certificates being offered for graduating seniors and young alumni. One's called Distance Leadership and one's called Legacy Leadership. And, you know, distance leadership, just like we're looking at this now, how do you become a team lead? How do you organize a good team? How do you do things remotely? They're actually, the class that they're offering and the course that they're offering that'll be available in October, we've already had inquiries from undergraduate people, undergraduates outside of Sigma Chi, willing to pay tuition to do this. As a graduate Sigma Chi, it's yours. It's free. Sign up. Get involved and get that certificate on leadership, distance leadership. Legacy leadership is just what Don and Turso and everybody's been talking about, and that is career readiness, career exploration, and world-class mentoring and resources to develop a Greek network that we were all promised when we were pledges. How does that look? Where does it go? And then how do we put some structure to it? So, you know, we've got all these great items. What I want to point out to you as young alumni, we're going to need facilitators. We are going to need brothers who are willing to take not only and learn these programs, but be able to teach these programs. The Alumni Facilitator Academy is just busting at the seams to get guys like you who are used to remote learning, who are used to training online, and being able to take these programs out to our undergraduates and to our young alumni and even old alumni and say, hey guys, this is how we do it. So right now we're projecting a need for about 2,000 facilitators, and brothers, you can certainly be a part of that. So there's another way that you can give back, you can become involved. At the same time, Sigma Chi is going to give you that reciprocity that we promise and that we talk about in our ritual is there. And brothers, it just takes a step. So sorry I went offline, but it's pretty exciting news, and I'm really glad to share that with everybody on the call. Dakota, I think we're ready for the next slide. Did want to kick out a word about our foundation. All that great training and program development would not be possible without the support from our foundation and the brothers that work over there. Guys, we have the best foundation and the strongest foundation in the Greek world. On a support basis, for every dollar that as an undergraduate you paid in dues, they provided $3 worth of programming. That 1-to-3 ratio is unheard of in the Greek world. They've given out over $2 million in scholarships. They help coordinate over 3,000 of our alumni volunteers. Just know that it too is a lifelong process, and they are a great partner in moving forward. They were instrumental with the idea that 77% of the CEOs now say we need soft skills. We know they got degree skills. We need soft skills. We need critical thinking. We need creativity. We need flexibility and people that can be competitive in a flexible manner. And they help provide us with the impetus to go forward with the SCLI teachings and learnings and online programs. So there's also been a change in our Life Loyal program. You can be a Life Loyal SIG with any contribution. You can send $1 and you can be listed as a Life Loyal SIG. So know that some of these programs that the foundation not only is sponsoring is out there and geared towards you, the young alumni. And we want to make sure that they get our help, heartfelt thanks, and that they get our help as well. The next slide, Dakota, talks about if you're not heading off into career and you want us to talk about graduate programs and graduate scholarships, the foundation provides graduate school scholarships. And I've had some experience with these. I've written letters of recommendation for 3 of these different scholarships. And I know a couple of young doctors who without the Mason Scholar and without the Wash Scholar would not be where they are now. And again, there are certainly opportunities for young alumnus like yourself who says, hey, I'm not quite ready to hit the world. I want to stay in school for a little while longer. Oh, by the way, it's a professional degree. The foundation has not left you out either. So know that those are available and certainly are helpful, and we'll be glad to direct you in any manner that we can to get you over to those foundation scholarships and provide for you the support that you need to further your educational career. And I'll stop the promo on the foundation for now and kick it back to you, Don. Thanks.
Mute myself. All right. I want to go off script for just a second and talk about the Sigma Chi ring. I wear it and have for decades. Early in my career, I stopped by I was working for a company and stopped by the HR department because I wanted a promotion. And the guy that I was talking to saw my ring, and not only did I get the promotion, I got a few levels above. It's the ring. Another job, one of my guys I was working with saw my ring at lunch one day. He goes, "Are you a Sigma Chi?" That guy made me $100,000 in a few years just in commissions. So get a ring and wear it if you're comfortable doing that. Enough on that. So stay involved and know via the official website on Facebook and the sites of the International Fraternity. Justin Hannon is our social media guru at headquarters, at our international headquarters, and he has a list of all of the sites on. So it's pinned at the international group on the top, so you can check out all the groups there. And I'm going to go through a few of those in a moment. Next slide, please, Dakota. So we've also got a lot of communications from our Grand Consul. He stays in touch and he writes long messages, very meaningful messages that we haven't seen before. Really great time to be a Sigma Chi, and a really a nice new way of communications coming from the Grand Consul. And then you see Justin's there is, he's announcing that we have a town hall meeting that was a few weeks ago. So keep an eye on these sites. That's what's going on in the fraternity, and that's how you can kind of keep a pulse on it. Next slide, please. There's also some user-generated content, which is curated by headquarters. People make submissions, and the headquarters social media staff will review those and approve those and promote those. Next slide, please. So when you're looking for a career, you are a Sigma Chi, which means you have favor and distinction. We were all promised this amazing network when we were being recruited. So you have 2 main avenues here. On Facebook, you have the Sigma Chi Fraternity Career Network. It's Career Referrals for SIGs is actually the name of it. So when you type it in there, type Career Referrals for SIGs, and I'll keep an eye on that and try to get you guys approved in as soon as possible. We do ask a few questions, like what was your What's your name in the directory? Did you update the directory chapter and year? LinkedIn also has, you can do a cross-reference by company in Sigma Chi. You can do a cross-reference from industry in Sigma Chi, and tons of SIGs in there. And then we've got a few other groups, like you'll see SIGs in entertainment right here. There's SIGs in law enforcement, SIGs in law, SIGs in medicine, SIGs in IT, tons and tons of groups. Next slide, please. So the Facebook Career Referrals for SIGs, this is where you go if you're looking for a job or if you're going to be hiring. So we've got dozens of brothers on there every day helping each other out, helping each other find jobs, helping each other discover new industries that they're thinking about, and finding mentors. It's a great resource, and we have about 23,000 members on there. It's by far the biggest fraternity group of any fraternity in the galaxy. So, and you've got tons of brothers willing to help you out there, excited to help you out. And also, we ask that you help other brothers when it's your turn. Next slide, please. Keep up to date. I'm sorry, this one's Terso.
Thank you, Don. Keep it up to date with news from your undergraduate chapter. Now, I know everyone's always interested in hearing about how their undergraduate chapter is doing, and I know a lot of the times the undergrads do a poor job of communicating that. And I think that just comes naturally with the schoolwork they have and the stresses in life they're going through, or the pleasures of life they're going through. Now, keeping up to date can be as simple as a Facebook group or a Facebook page. The undergraduates, at least sometimes monthly, but at least semesterly, will post news about the chapter. Now, if they're not doing that, encourage your undergraduate chapter to. It's as simple as asking the current consul, hey, who's the Tribune? Let me get in touch with him, or the PR chair. Just ask him to post a brother spotlight. So you guys, you as chapter alumni or alumni in the area, can know about undergraduate brothers that you might not have met at a chapter meeting you had recently visited. And now there's also newsletters. Encourage your chapters to update their email list. Make sure they get as many interested alumni as possible on those email lists. And if an alumnus is changing addresses, or they no longer use an email list, remind your brothers to update that. Now, I know a lot of times with the directory, emails can bounce back. That's just on you telling your brothers to, hey, can you please update your email or your address if you have in the past 5 or 10 years? You might not know it, but it could be out of date. And now, not just with electronics, but once again, it could be as simple as just texting brothers, how's the chapter doing? You never know if they need help and they just haven't thought to ask, but it's always good just to keep those lines of communication open. Next slide, please.
So virtual groups and pages that are spanning different interests. A lot of fun Facebook pages out there. You've got the SIG Smoking and Grilling. You've got the fraternity group, the history group, which is really fascinating. You get a lot of information. A lot of Sigma Chi's know a lot of stuff, and it's just very fascinating to read through. Special interest groups like cars, trucks, boats. You got a plane, why not? And if you're in the military, there's a special military SIG page as well. There's a new one out that's up and coming. It's called Cigars and Libations. It's mostly focused on cigars, and McGall runs that. You might know him as Michael G.A. Williams, and that's a neat little group if you like cigars. Next slide. There's a hunting and fishing as well. SIGs at an Airport is a fun group started by Scott Bondi, one of our Canadian brothers, and it's just it's dead right now, of course. But you've got guys out there when they're traveling, they meet other guys at the airport and stop and have a beer, whatever. It's kind of cool when you see somebody post a picture of guys that, just SIGs meeting in an airport for a moment, and new friendships are developed. So, that's a lot of what we're about, friendships, right?
Might I add too, for the brothers that use Instagram, there's plenty of Instagram groups, pages that you can follow. Just the Sigma Chi Instagram account is a great one. A lot of SIGs stay up to date with information that the headquarters is posting through there. And your Sigma Chi chapters, a lot of them have Instagram pages, and some of the alumni chapters do too. This is a great source of information, as Instagram is just a live feed, and you can just get passive information scrolling through Instagram once you follow one of those accounts. search.
Good one. Thanks. And so on Facebook, I want to mention something real quick. A lot of people go off of Facebook because of all the noise and mess on there. You can curate it. There's little 3 dots up by posting. You say, see fewer of these types of posts, or unfollow this person, stuff like that. And with a little bit of time, you curate it. So all the crap has gone off of my Facebook. It's all puppy dog videos, whiskey, Sigma Chi stuff, race cars, and dank memes. So you can eliminate all that noise and just kind of tune into the Sigma Chi stuff or whatever you want to. So again, this just kind of refers to what we were talking about earlier on Facebook and LinkedIn. Next slide, please.
Bottom line, there are lots of opportunities, brothers, and we hope that you take those opportunities to engage chapters and chapter mates. Stay up with your chapter brothers, stay up with your new contacts, stay up with local chapters, stay up with alumni chapters, connect with them virtually. Do this, support other alumni and let them support you, like Don said, with some reciprocity. Be a volunteer. We will never turn you away. We look for your help. We look for your support. We know that you have something to offer as a Sigma Chi brother, and we look forward to that talent and having that talent come out and come forward and be shared with the rest of your brothers. Leverage the social media. I know that Terzo talked about Instagram, and I always thought that was the way that Generation Z measured things, was in Instagrams, but I'm learning from him and from others that that's not quite the appropriate manner. So let's keep our bonds alive, brothers. As alumnus, that's what we're charged to do. There's some really exciting things coming down as alumni in the Sigma Chi International Fraternity Strategic Plan. The alumni section has our own pillar. We are 250,000 brothers strong, and we are building on you and your support, and support like these panelist brothers today who give so much to Sigma Chi and want to see you as young alumni flourish and become the best version of you that you can be, because we will all benefit from that. So brothers, thank you for the business session and the time. This will conclude that business session, and I'll turn it back over to our ritual leader, Brother Jeremy.
Thanks, Bob. Okay, wrapping up. So thanks for the time today. Jumping in, tracing our roots back to our infancy. Let us advance our knowledge with a literary exercise followed by our virtual Sigma Chi salutations.
All right, so I'm going to be reading a section of Polonius's advice to Laertes from the first act of Hamlet. In these few precepts in thy memory see thou character. Give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unproportioned thought his act. Be thou familiar, but by no means vulgar. Those friends thou hast, and their adoption tried, grapple them to thy soul with hoops of steel. But do not dull thy palm with entertainment of each new hatched unfledged comrade. Beware of entrance to a quarrel, but being in, bear it that the opposed may beware of thee. Give every man thy ear, but few thy voice. Take each man's censure, but reserve thy judgment. Neither a borrower nor a lender be, for loan oft loses both itself and friend, and borrowing dulls the edge of husbandry. This above all to thine own self be true, and it must follow as the day the night, thou canst not then be false to any man. Farewell, my blessing season this in thee.
Great.
Thank you, brother. Is there any discussion on the literary exercise in the group?
To thine own self be true. Well said, Brother Tristan. And,
Tristan, why did you, I'm curious, why did you choose that reading?
I had read it a couple times before in other literary exercises. I think it's particularly, just good advice generally, but there's a couple parts in it that I really like. When it's talking about the friends that you've made, it says grapple them to thy soul with hoops of steel, and I just love that, and the ties to the ritual, with chains and with steel and with just holding fast to those friendships. I think that's really, really important for us to do. And as it says in the end, above all, it's thine own self be true. And I think that's as best as it can be said.
Thank you. Now, normally, guys, depending on the amount of time you have, for your meetings, you might have a second reading or you might have more folks discuss it. But for the interest of today, we're just going to use this as an example of how it's done, in a brief discussion. So thank you, Tristan, for sharing that.
Thanks, guys.
Kurt, if you'll advance us, sir. Or
Yep.
No, go back.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
Don, would you care to demonstrate this, Don? Or
This is Jeremy.
As a sign of fidelity, the brother, as he delivers the words to the Brotherhood of Sigma Chi, places his right hand with his palm covering his heart and four fingers extending together to the left shoulder. With his thumb extended towards his neck, he delivers his toast to Sigma Chi and finishes with always proud, while expressing once again the sign of fidelity. So in order to conclude this meeting, I call upon Brother Tristan to begin our Sigma Chi salutation.
To the Brotherhood of Sigma Chi, it's been great being a member of this membership engagement committee, and great to be on the call with all these fine gentlemen here. Wish I could, of course, be with you guys, but I'm sure that we'll all be celebrating in our own way very soon, and the bonds of brotherhood are forever. So always proud.
Thanks, brother.
As the next in line, I guess, Jeremy, on visually, brothers, to the Brotherhood of Sigma Chi, thank you so much for your time today. Thanks to all these great panelists and everybody that serves on our committee, to Gary and Dakota at headquarters that keep things going, Jeremy and for leading this, our first run at the virtual ritual, for Don and all his support in helping to develop it, for Terso and Tristan for keeping the flames of youth blooming and blowing through our chapters and our committee, and mostly brothers to you. Congratulations, you've graduated, and we so look forward to the rest of your Sigma Chi journey as it steps out and becomes an alumnus. Always proud.
To the Brotherhood of Sigma Chi, guys, man, congratulations. We have high expectations from you. On our badge, we have 2 chains, and you remember what those symbolize. And now's a good time to, kind of think about that lifetime commitment. And let me tell you, you'll get more out of it than you give to it. I sincerely regret waiting till my 40s to reactivate as alumni. I missed out on decades. Don't miss out what I missed on. Stay active. You'll get a lot more out of it. Your friendships will be just as strong and just as true with your own chapter mates. I encourage you guys to stay connected with Sigma Chi. You'll get so much out of it. It'll be more than you can ever dream about. Always proud.
My brothers, keep making friends in this fraternity, because every brother's here, open arms, waiting to meet you, waiting to get to know you, all ages, all different groups, all walks of life, and nothing can replace that. Friends from all over the country and Canada, some of them even spread out across the world to Australia and Europe. You cannot replicate this, and you joined this fraternity for a reason. I continue to make that reason possible for everyone else joining this fraternity, coming to college next fall, by getting involved with your chapters, your alumni groups, and your own fellow brothers. Thank you. Always proud.
To the Brotherhood of Sigma Chi, I'm a storyteller, so I'm going to tell my quick story. I had a hell of a lot of fun as an undergraduate, but I've had probably even more fun as an alumni. And my quick story is I ended up in New York City after graduate school, and I went to an alumni chapter breakfast. I was sitting there eating my eggs or whatever the heck I was eating, and I looked across about 3 tables away, and some guy made eye contact with me, and he said, "Rawlings, what the hell are you doing here?" And I said, "Stolze, what the hell are you doing here?" So then we left the meeting because neither one of us even knew the other one lived in New York City. I could have lived in New York City for 50 years or 60 years and never met this guy. He was 2 years older than me. I didn't even know he was in New York City. So go to the alumni chapter meetings. Who the hell knows who you're going to meet? Even if you don't meet a guy you know, I guarantee you're going to meet a guy you like, and you're going to meet a guy that you'll become very good friends with. So I'm just going to tell you, you've had a great time as an undergraduate, and I'm telling you, you can have a really good time as an alumni as well. Always proud.
To the brother of Sigma Chi, I'm closing this meeting out. Thanks for all you to join. Congratulations on graduating, and hopefully you guys stay safe. Always proud.
Thank you, brothers. Enjoy the rest of your day and the rest of your life at Sigma Chi Alumni.
Bob, we have just a few minutes. If you'll allow me to maybe take a couple of questions. So we have about 7-8 minutes left. And I
Depends if you have the answers or not, Gary.
Well, I make them up. You know that, Bob. But let me get to the questions here. I had them up a second ago. Here we go. In no particular order, Brother Chavez, the virtual ritual is not yet published, but it will be, and you and the other brothers will be receiving information on they're calling it the V ritual or the non-secret ritual. So there's
or the virtual.
Or the virtual ritual, yeah. And that's not been published yet. It hasn't been bound up in a quasi black book, but it's working. Somebody asked, I don't see their name, I'm sorry. Will this presentation be available? If you guys would like it, I would be more than happy to send it out to the folks that registered for the webinar. So yes, we can make this available to answer that question. Someone asked, what is the programming? This is Brother Feeney. Asked what programming will be available to alumni. He'd love to get that master's degree that was talked about. I think Bob gave us a peek under the tent. I don't think it's published yet, Bob, as to what exactly is available for the alumni. Can you field that question, Bob?
We've got those first two started with our leadership, distance learning, and the legacy learning. There are more down the pike. I would defer to Jim Cogdell and that great team over at SCLI to give you the specifics on that. And if you reach out to Jim, he is more than willing to let you know not only what's coming down the line, but what you can do to incorporate your actions and your activities there. And I'm looking, it is Jim Cogdell at sigmachi.org. Pretty easy.
We have another question here from Brother Heiss, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and I apologize if I'm in advance if I'm not. Jared asked us about scholarships. If you've applied for a scholarship and you want to know the status of your scholarship, you can contact Heidi at the headquarters, and Heidi's email address is Heidi, H-E-I-D-I, period, Holley, H-O-L-L-E-Y, Heidi.Holley at sigmachi.org, and she can let you know the status of your scholarship if you've already applied. If you would like to apply, not sure about the deadlines, but most graduate programs are at least 2 years. There's another cycle of scholarship money that's available, and you can get all the information about scholarships for graduate school and graduate programs on the sigmachi.org website.
Hey Gary, I'll jump in. This is Dakota here. They're actually in the review process for all the scholarships, so you should be receiving notice at the end of June of whether or not you are a recipient of the scholarships.
Thank you, Dakota. Glad to have you aboard. We all need to give a big snap out to Dakota, who's the guy that's pulling the strings behind the curtain so the wizard will look good. So he's doing all the heavy lifting for us. So thank you, Dakota, for that comment and for everything else. That pretty much exhaust our questions. Let me scroll down here. How do you get one of those snazzy Sigma Chi rings? I guess the best way to do that is to go to Herf. Might as well put an announcement out for them. Herf Jones will be more than happy to sell you one. Herf, H-E-R-F-F, Jones, J-O-N-E-S. They will be more than happy to sell you one. When can we expect updates on the guidance for alumni chapter events? Bob, I don't know. Bob Wilson, Chairman Wilson, sent out a message earlier this week that our illustrious EC has said that virtual meetings of our alumni groups will count towards the governing law statutory requirements. Do you want to comment on that, Bob?
It was a Grand Council ruling, and that's very helpful. We've seen, an uptick in attendance at Alumni Chapter meetings. We've seen sharing like this between the brothers, and you know, it fits some guys' schedules a little bit better. As far as what our strategic plan and future programs look like, we've got another webinar coming about, you know, well, I don't know how to run a virtual meeting. How do I do that? That will target some of our alumni chapters that maybe need a little help getting themselves started in the digital world of communication and meetings. Likewise, you know, we've got the strategic plan in place in your committee, membership engagement committee, because we want to engage everybody from the time they accept that pledge pin until they enter Chapter Eternal. We want to make sure that we have some reciprocity of something to give to you, whereas we know you have something to give to us. Those programs, as we develop them, are rolled out and announced best we can to the Brotherhood in the best available manner that we have.
Yeah, so keep your email current, because that's how you're going to get invitations to these events. So go in and check and make sure that the email we have for you is one that still works. Obviously it does. You wouldn't have been able to find your way to this webinar, but if you do change your email so we can continue to provide you with information. I do see one question here from Brother Hedge, and he is saying it appears as though, and I'm paraphrasing, John, that his local alumni chapter has canceled most of their events into the near future. So, you know,
Which
John,
chapter is that? Yeah, which chapter?
I can't tell, John, if you want to type that in real quickly. And while he's typing it in, I'll just filibuster. So I would encourage you, John, to go ahead and maybe give a nudge out to your alumni chapter president and tell them that it is possible to do virtual meetings. We'll be doing another webinar for alumni chapter leadership over the next couple of weeks here to spin up and coach up the guys that aren't comfortable with it. You know, many of our alumni chapters are meeting virtually. You know, I've been told some of them are actually meeting weekly now, and they're also finding, some of them, that their attendance is actually greater than what they had for in-person meetings, probably because it's easier to saunter into your office in front of your computer than it is to hop a train or a bus or something to get down to the luncheon or the dinner. So Don, I know you've had a lot of success with virtual meetings in San Francisco. Do you want to comment on anything there, brother?
No, you're absolutely right. We've seen increased attendance, and we're actually doing it twice a month versus once a month. And the reason I asked about which chapter has canceled, because I'm working with a few other chapter presidents to get them on the virtual meetings and the Zoom and stuff. So, and they're very receptive once they get on a meeting like this. So if you want to contact me with that local chapter, I'll see if I can help out the president, kind of mentor him in getting this going. Or you might want to jump in as the webinar czar. So, you know,
the Zoom czar, we'll call you. You can be the Zoom czar. But we're running out of time here, and I know I think our screen's gonna go black in about 20 seconds. So I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you for everyone that attended, and thank you everyone for participating.